Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Von the Stampede, and I have a special guest with me. I have one of the members of pmdawn, Doc G. How you doing, brother?
What's up, man? It's good to meet you in person
Hmm?
and set things straight.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So you was basically on an episode of Unsung, and I wanted to hear your side of the story because
Hey,
Unsung, they missed some
I
points that you
I've
was
I've
saying.
seen shish kebabs that weren't roasted as well as I was on that show. Let me tell you, that was bad. I couldn't believe it. I was very disappointed. Um, dare I say, was heartbroken a little because they painted a false narrative that put me against Prince B, and that was never the case in life or death. And I was contacted through a friend of mine named Dino Pereira, who was booking shows for me last year, and he told me that an executive producer named Cassidy Arkin had hit him up, and so he got us together through emails, and then we had a phone conversation. It was about an hour, possibly 2 hour long conversation, and Cassidy Arkin reassured me this was not going to be a hit piece. This was going to be about the truth. It was going to be about the love of the music. Um, and I believe this woman. And on what she said, she said, "Look, I'm gonna." First, she wanted to try to put me in a room with some of my relatives that I don't get along with or associate with. And I said, "I'm not doing that. I have no need to be with them. There's a lot of anger from me to them because of things that were done. And I have a real simple thing. When you violate me, if you steal from me, whatever you took from me, that's how much it costs to realize you're a piece of garbage and I don't need you in my life. You know? So I cut cats off and it's permanent. There will be no, reunion tour with Doc G. There will be no get back. Once you're done with me, you're done. And that's it. So she said, we'll go to Atlanta instead. I said, okay. They flew me to Atlanta. They treated me very nice. Her assistant, the makeup lady, and everything. They flew me out. I paid for nothing. Ubered me everywhere. Fed me breakfast and lunch. And after 3 hours of interview footage, I felt comfortable. I had signed a waiver, and I believe her assistant even texted me and was like, "Yo, out of all the interviews I did, I felt like yours was the most authentic and everything." And so I appreciated that. And then April 6th, 2022 comes around. I didn't even watch it because I don't know if TV One is like a bullshit network or something, but I pay Hulu Plus $90 to get live TV and a lot of channels. TV One ain't one of them, all right? So, I'm sorry, I have a premium deal. I don't see TV One in sight. So I didn't watch it. But then people who know me for years are calling me up like, yo, this is what they did. And then finally it started surfacing on YouTube. But before I actually saw it, I got all of these people calling me up saying all types of, what I could just define as hate speech. And they were saying, you're a fraud. You stole from your family. You're stealing royalties. And I'm like, how am I stealing royalties? Prince B, aka Astro Cortez's royalties go to his wife, who I prefer to call his estranged wife, widow, Mary Sierra Cortez. Um, she knows this, and when she says otherwise in a documentary or on social media, she's lying. Um, I have proof, which I have shared with you. I can't share it right now while I'm doing it, but I've shared that proof with you because out of all the people saying stuff about me, I saw a video that you made about the episode, and the questions that you asked were what I thought was just journalistic and fair. You just wanted to know the answer. So I figured that's why I hit you up on the gram, right? And I said, yo, if you say you're a journalist, you should go get the new, the right information, the facts. I would like to give you the facts. And kudos to you because you responded and said, yo, if this is what it is, let's do it. And so that's how we did it. But listen, this only goes to show you that and what I pose to the world through your platform, when are we as African Americans going to stop letting white people's lies destroy us? Because ultimately, this is a opportunistic white woman that I never got along with because I always knew what she was. I was grieving my cousin's death, and the woman sent me a text message saying cease and desist. Didn't know what the hell she was talking about. Because I believe this whole beef started was when they thought they were going to just take over the group because he died, and they found out I had owned the group outright since 2009. If people would stop organizing their little hate clans to say stuff online and do some research, because trademark and patent is public domain. With Prince B's blessing and with his encouragement, I assumed ownership of the group for the sole purpose of preventing his wife, who was on drugs at the time. If I have to say allegedly, I'll say it, but I know the truth. She crashed a car and cracked her skull and had to get a bunch of bolts and then put back in like Frankenstein. So I don't have to lie about it. She said in that thing that she didn't know me. She said I was a fake imposter. I was never a part of the group. But I did send you some things behind the scenes where you saw not only was I a part of the group, I showed you the publishing agreement that showed that John and everybody lied when they said that we weren't getting money. We had a whole publishing agreement. My name was on it, right? You saw it. 50-50 agreement, $100,000, 50 grand split back in 06 of December. Because my cousin, and I don't want to trash my cousin. He's dead. He's in the sky. I love him. He wasn't taking care of his business. He was having fun on the road, wasn't taking care of business at home. His wife was hitting me up because the lights were getting cut off and everything, and I showed you the screenshot and everything, so you saw it. So you calling me a fraud, but you wasn't calling me a fraud when I was stopping and going to Western Union or sending wires from then, I believe it was called Commerce Bank, now it's called TD Bank, and I'm wiring her money to keep things on. And so, and then I even bought her a car. I bought her a Town and Country. And not only, did she not acknowledge me for doing that, but she also didn't acknowledge that she ran up thousands of dollars in Easy Pass bills because her broke ass was running through the Easy Pass on Garden State Parkway and killing me financially with that. So, but I don't want to dominate. I just want to let you know, because like when you have a bunch of people who don't know you telling you to kill yourself, telling you that they wish your children were dead and everything else they say on YouTube and Instagram, and it's all led by relatives of yours who, let's be honest, the only reason they act out the way they do is because they weren't there for their brother the way they should have been, and they felt some type of way. I moved down to Mississippi. Moved down to Mississippi. It's a great way of life. It's peaceful. For once in my life, it only takes 30 minutes to catch a plane. Yeah, that speaks volumes. I used to live 5 minutes away from JFK Airport, and it took 3 hours to catch a flight. It's the opposite.
Wow.
I live 45 minutes away. I could wake up 30 minutes before I take off and catch a flight in Gulfport, Mississippi. You gotta love that. So, and also, it's easier to protect yourself and your family out here. I have my concealed carry permit. I also have my armed guard permit. I use everything at my disposal legally to take care of myself and my family. If I was stealing somebody's royalties, I wouldn't need to do these things. I wouldn't have to have a Class B CDL license and a pistol permit and stuff, but this is what I do. Everybody can't look good in a thong and sell 2 million with one single in a week. So maybe in the 90s I could have pulled it off, but I don't know, Vaughn. I don't think I got it. Man. I don't even think they pay for it with surgery, so
Oh, maybe I don't know, man.
Yeah, so I gotta work regular jobs, and but I'm proud of that because it keeps me connected. And when I put my music out and everything, it's easier to write about things people can relate to. I don't write about what other cats write about because my life is so much different. I've never sold a narcotic in my life. The only lives I've ever taken were in self-defense legally, and I'm not a gangster. I'm just an American man that is legally allowed to protect who and what he loves, and that's it. And I'm proud of that. This infinity sign on my mic hand means everything to me. All right. And shout to Tough City Styles in the Bronx, Fordham Road, because every tat on my arm comes from there. And I got nothing but love for hip hop, and I got nothing but love for real fans of hip hop. And that's why I'm here. Everybody don't have my story, and everybody don't have my glory, and that's all I can say. I really am disappointed with the people at TV One. The only reason I haven't sued them yet is because I signed a waiver because I thought that African American woman, Cassidy Arkin, was telling the truth. And lo and behold, I found out, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. I told you who it was behind the scenes, but I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. I'm not going to throw another person under the bus. But somebody from her camp told me the truth. She was bribed with a free trip to Port Antonio, Jamaica by John Baker. And that's why she allowed those lies to fly and they edited my footage. But, and I know it sounds stupid for me to be, I just turned 50 last Tuesday, but I know it sounds stupid for me to not know these things, but
Happy birthday.
Thank you, man. But when you worried about like real life shit, how could you think that if somebody could say like, if they ask me, what do you think about Vaughn the Stampede? I love Vaughn the Stampede. That's a cool young brother, man. I could never hate that dude. I could never kill that dude. And then they chop and edit the words to say, I hate Vaughn the Stampede. I'll kill Vaughn the Stampede. Like they chop, they replace your words in a different segment. So if you didn't say fuck that dude to one answer, they could put it behind some other question. And that's what they did. Like that whole thing they did with my voice when it came to ownership saying, I'm taking it. They chopped and edited the stuff up. I'm like, now they got me thinking like maybe Donald Trump isn't the asshole we all think he is. Maybe he was right when he was talking about fake news. Because damn if I wasn't a victim of it in that bullshit episode.
Yeah. Damn.
So I'm gonna explore with my attorney what we could do. Slander, defamation of character, that sort of thing, because I'm not gonna lie, it hurt me. It blacklisted me a lot, and that's what they've been trying to do for years, And but I feel undefeated because at the end of the day, I have real friends in this business, and I reached out to those cats, and I'm not even gonna say names. I don't want to put nobody in nothing because I'm taking a lot of heat, but a lot of those cats really hit me up and was like, "Why do you even care? Like, I've known you for X amount of years, and I know that that's not you. Why should you give a fuck about what strangers say?" I was like, because those strangers on social media, they could be potential fans or. But people have been trying to hurt me for no reason for a long time.
Wow. That's I hate that you're going through this, man, because that's not cool for people, hating you to that extent, and also it's affecting your livelihood.
What really pissed me off more than that, Vaughn, I saw where B's son Christian said something negative about me and said I was never in the group. See, that's his mom poisoning his head. Um, I'm like, first of all, how you gonna say I wasn't part of the group when I took your punk ass on the road with me back in '06? I had people giving them standing ovations in San Francisco at the Red Devil Lounge. So how are you of all? I could see the other kids being stupid enough to think negative about me, but not him. He was old enough to know the truth. So that really disappoints me. And someday I'm gonna slap the shit out of him, and then we could make peace out of it. But someday I'm gonna slap the shit out of him for that. No, it just you know why? Because at the end of the day, you're supposed to respect your elders, and that's not cool. That's not cool. He's supposed to know better. He's supposed to know better. You know,
Wow.
I did a lot of slaving. I did a lot of slaving to make sure he had a roof over his head. You know, a lot of driving through blizzard conditions with his daddy, you know, to make sure that he ate well and to make sure he had good Christmases and everything. So that's not the person that should say something disgusting about me. That's how I feel about that.
Yeah, man. Like you feel disrespected, and you also done the work. So
Yeah.
it's not like you was like sitting on your butt not doing nothing. Like what you was telling me behind the scenes. I'm like, whoa, man, you did all this stuff, and TV1.
No, you could say it. You could say it. It's cool.
Yeah, like helping. You was trying to help out Prince B in his health.
I was basically a nurse's maid. Like, all right, when we did the shows in Hawaii, right? I think I sent you a flyer. Basically, it was December '06. He had a cyst in his groin area. The doctor wasn't going to let him out the hospital because he didn't want to let him get on the plane. And he asked for privacy, called me in, and he said, Greg, I don't know what you got to say. You know, you got the gift of gab. You got to convince this dude to let me go on the plane. He said, please. So I talked to the doctor and I was like, listen, with all due respect to your assessment, if you don't allow him to do this, he could be in danger to lose his home. I'm asking you, please. And if there's anything I can do to reassure you that this will be safe and it won't blow back on you, I'll do it. He said, this is what you're going to have to do. And he basically showed me how to take saline. I had to clean the wound in his groin area, literally between his leg and his scrotum sac. I had to take gauze with saline. I had to clean the area, put new saline in, and tape bandage it up. And mind you, anybody that knows the real Prince B knows that he was a horrible joker. So imagine you having to do that to him, and then the jokes he would make in between, like, "Look at you, you just can't help yourself, can you?" and stuff like that. He just make all types of jokes, and he just made all types of jokes. And I remember when we came back from Hawaii, he'd tell people like, now since Greg and I had that intimate trip in Hawaii, I was like, oh, come on, man, don't do that. He was like,
oh, he gonna put you on the spot like
he
that.
was like, I remember we did an interview and he talked about it. He was like, yeah, I got to know Doc G on a personal level, an intimate level. I was like, shut up, just stop. It's not funny, a lot of jokes. He played some cruel jokes on me. Not to get off subject, but I'll give you a real good. Well, it wasn't funny to me, but
Okay.
We would have some fans of ours, really close fans that were like friends, right? Well, they were friends, and so if I knew we were going to be at a certain area, I would make sure that particular fans, what we call Utopia nights, would have access to the hotel rooms because what I would do, especially as B's diabetes got worse, started taking an insulin called Novolog 7030. It has to be constantly refrigerated. So what I would do is I would have air conditioning set to a certain way in a hotel room. I would have the script picked up and have the fan put the insulin in a cooler or like in the refrigerator. I would make sure that he got on a plane and then I'd fly him down there because driving became uncomfortable for him. And to be honest, it was uncomfortable for me because he wanted to stop to eat every 5 minutes and we'd never get anywhere on time. So I put him on a plane and then I drive my Ultima wherever we go. Now we don't have to pay for a rent a car. And now I don't have to listen to somebody's shitty subwoofer because I got my own subwoofer that was better than theirs. And so that's what we did. So he got there one day and he decides to, he said the fan comes up to him and says, listen, man, I got to use the bathroom really bad. Then he says, well, what do you got to do at number one and number two? He says, I got to do it number two. He goes, that's fine, but here's what you're going to do. Take it in Doc's room and don't flush it and turn off the AC.
What?
So he would do that, and then I'd show up after being on a plane and, not being on a plane, driving in, which was worse. And then I'd walk into the hotel, and then the smell would just catch me, and I'd just like, what is going on? And then the fan would call like, I'm sorry, B told me to do it. I'm like, oh man. And they'd all laugh. So that's the type of brutal practical jokes that he would play on me on the road.
Damn. Really? They were just doing that just to be petty.
He would just do it because he thought it was funny. It was no pettiness to it. He just had a sick sense of humor. Then another time, I think it was I seem to remember that most of his practical jokes happened in Florida, which was really like we did a show Valentine's night 2008. That was the last show we did together. Actually, I have a photo of that, and it was at the Hard Rock Seminole in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's right, Fort Lauderdale. So he sent, a woman knocked on my door, and she had an Adam's apple. I could see it right away, and she's like, your cousin sent me up here because I told him I was feeling you and everything. And I was like, please leave me alone. And I closed the door, double bolted it, had security come up and remove. And then when I call him up, he's hollering, laughing. I'm like, you sent a man dressed up as a woman to my door. And this is the type of stuff he would do. I don't have a problem with gay and lesbian people. I'm just not one of them. And I don't, so it wasn't a good joke for me.
Wow.
But this is the type of stuff he would do. This is the type of stuff he would do.
Those type of jokes, man, you got to fight somebody.
There were times believe it or not, even though those were really shitty things to do, the one that actually got us fighting was when he put toothpaste on my fingers, and then he took a brush or something and started brushing around my eyes. And I took my hand, started rubbing and got the toothpaste in my eyes and started burning. And he started laughing, and I just started swinging at everybody. Like,
you damn right.
Listen, it was fun, but it was also a pain in the neck. It was, but that's what you had to endure if you love Prince B. That's what you had to endure.
Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I have a question.
Yeah.
Will you ever be cool with DJ Minutemix ever?
No, and I'm gonna tell you why. And then that was the question that you asked. You said in that video, you said, how can you perform as a group without an original member? Well, Prince B passed away. All right. And the reason why I can't perform with Jared Cortez, DJ Minutemix, also known as JC the Eternal, is because this man, see, I wish people wouldn't confuse the words sodomize and rape. All right? Because to insinuate that a child desires a grown person, like the child's mind isn't developed, it's not developed. He basically had sex with my 14-year-old cousin, then 14-year-old cousin. Her name was Amy, okay? She never got over it. She started abusing heroin. She is no longer with us.
God.
What caused that overall? The trauma from when she was a 14-year-old. Someone who was supposed to have her back, support her, and take care of her took advantage of her physically, mentally, emotionally. I can never be on good terms with that dude. I'll never stand next to him in anything. I won't attend his funeral. No. And some people, I can't confirm or deny it because of what I haven't actually saw that part of the episode of TV One yet. But from what people told me when they asked him if he did it, his response was, "All I'm saying is I never got prosecuted." Like, the reason why he didn't go to jail is because people on that side of the family pressured this young girl and made her feel guilty because it ruined the group's mainstream run, you know. But the person who should have went to jail was Jarrett, JC the Eternal, whatever. I'm sick of all the different names.
Yeah, yeah.
Multiple names, same rapist. I just got no. I got no respect for. He should be right next to anybody else that does that sort of thing. And I'm I'm just I'm beyond done with it. I mean, there was a time where we were touring back in the early 2000s, and people used to think that I was him. And so imagine going up to a radio show and a person asking me, Doc G, they go, "Why did you rape your 14-year-old cousin?" And I go, "That's a great question, but you're asking the wrong person, dumbass." That's the other reason why I got this tattoo with the Doc G on it, and so you could tell us apart at the time, because I was a little bit slimmer. I hadn't discovered the po' boy yet, and so that was the way you could tell me apart from him, because people would it was easy to make that mistake back then. But yeah, it was that was very hurtful. I tried to get my cousin Amy off of drugs, gave her an ultimatum, and you know, she chose to go the other way. I was like, you go to a rehab. Me and my then girlfriend at the time take the kids. When you get out, stay with us till you get a job and get on on your own too. I was trying to get out of Philadelphia, and I couldn't do it. I did speak to her a year before she passed away, and it was positive. She told me she was drug free. I can't speak on what took her life because I'm hoping that we get some justice behind that. So I don't want to, but she was basically murdered, and I'm I was flat out disgusted, and to this day I very much want vengeance against JC the Eternal for what he did to her life. So that's a very very sore spot for me. And no, I'll never do anything with that guy again. Maybe a cage.
Mm. Wow. I didn't mean to get too.
No, it's all right.
Man.
You asked a real question. I gave you a real answer. And that's what I told you I would do.
Okay. All right, brother.
I'm not gonna bitch up or switch up when it comes to these questions. So
Right.
whatever you got, you know.
All right. Okay. Let me ask you one more question. We're gonna
Sure.
wrap things up.
Okay.
Since do you have like any regrets with the whole pmdawn saga, or are you proud of anything that you accomplished with pmdawn?
I'm proud of everything I've done with pmdawn. The only thing that I regret, and I said this, I told this to TV One and they did not air it. The only thing that I regret is that in my grief when he passed away, my brother Ulysses called me and told me about it.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled over on the side of the road, I wept, and I wrote a poem. And I didn't realize because of how I had everything set up. I wrote the poem thinking it was just going to go on my personal Facebook page. I didn't realize that it would shoot out to the PM Dawn Facebook, the PM Dawn Twitter. People Magazine picked it up. TMZ picked it up. My manager at the time, Ben Kaufman, poor guy, was trying to get his family together for their after school activities, and he's getting bombarded with calls. So I regret that. But I don't regret anything I've done with PM Dawn, man. I don't understand why I'm held to this invisible rule that nobody else is held to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Journey, their lead singer left. He didn't die, but he left. Guy from the Eagles died a couple of years ago, right? Was it Glenn Frey? I think they're still performing. When Prince B was alive, I helped Prince B take care of his family, secure a house for his kids and everything like that. That's all I'm doing now with PM Dawn. I'm doing the same thing. The only difference is I'm raising the children now. And unlike him, I'm not raising them with my wife. My wife got stupid. I hired an attorney, a damn good one. I'm raising two sons with disabilities by myself successfully. I'm a black man doing that in Mississippi, which is supposed to be the most racist state in the country. I can't tell by how the way I'm treated down here. I get a lot of love and respect from people. I get pulled over by police. I get treated with respect. Nobody disrespects me. I'm not saying you don't have bad moments, but I have better experiences down here than I had in New York with the police. And to backtrack on, because they asked me that at the end of TV One and they edited it to make me look like a fool. What I actually said was, I'm thankful for my experiences with the fans over the years. And after we would do the shows, because he would be hurt. He would have to go to the hotel and rest. There would always be fans that had relatives who were sick or in the hospital, and I would go to the hospital, meet the fan, pray with the family, that sort of thing. And fans would invite us for dinner like the day after the show. So instead of just leaving on a Sunday and going to a Red Lobster or Ruby Tuesdays to eat, we'll go and eat with the fans, and then they take pictures and have those moments. And if any of those fans are listening, I could think of one, the Bolin family out in Virginia. Shout to Keith and his lovely family. They brought us out, and then they say, "Hey man, don't waste your money. We got something for you." And that's that's what you call not being a male diva, And Digital Underground taught me that, to be humble. Shock G and Money B taught me that. And so I never forget that I was just a bucktooth kid from Far Rockaway, Queens, riding a bus and riding the A train and wanting to be like DMC. That's why I have giant glasses at all times, because that's what my hero used to rock. That's why I rock shell-toe Adidas. That's why I rock Gazelles normally. Right now, I'm rocking my Razor Onzus with the microphone through the stems. But I don't regret anything, man. It's been a beautiful experience, and it still is. I've met a lot of people. I've traveled all over the world, and I know for a fact I've positively affected people. I've told children of single mothers in different countries, listen to your mom, because I listen to my mom. and it took me all over the world, and it brought me in. Don't be disrespectful to your mom and your pop. These are the things I'm not one of these fools out here glorifying slinging drugs and killing people and rapping about it. I rap about something real, okay? I've been through the same projects everybody else been through, okay? I'm not, how Charles Barkley say, I'm not the old man yelling, get off my lawn. I'm just stating facts. I grew up in the same shitty project areas that other people have. And somehow I've managed to still pay bills with hip hop by not glorifying the bullshit, And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. I'm proud that, I've never paid a bodyguard in my fucking life. The only thing people have ever done to me at a show is give me a hug or a kiss on the side of the face. That I'm proud of that,
Right.
And I'll continue to be proud of that.
Okay.
And I'm also proud that I got the licenses to take care of myself if somebody was to try something. So.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna wrap this interview up. Thank you, Doc G. Where can they follow you, Doc G?
You, I got the Twitter at Undisputed Doc G, at official pmdawn. I got pmdawn Instagram, and I believe I have Undisputed Doc G Instagram as well. And I also got official pmdawn on Facebook.
Okay.
And pmdawn Doc G YouTube channel as well.
Thank you. This has been an honor. Thank you, Doc G, for this interview. Appreciate it. Everybody go follow Doc G on his social media. You can follow me on my social media, Von the Stampede. That's Von the Stampede at Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. And I will upload this full interview ASAP. So
hey, shout to you, Von the Stampede, because look, anybody else would have tried to troll me or made jokes. You reached out, you came back towards me, and we had a good conversation and everything. And I just want to let the people know you can't believe everything that's said on television, because people will do whatever they got to do to keep people watching and things. And I consider myself to be a very strong-willed man, but if I could just say one thing to your audience, bro, stop telling people to commit suicide when they raising kids by themselves. That's I really didn't understand how some artists get hurt by stuff like that until it happened to me. Like, don't tell people, don't make jokes out of that. Don't tell people to kill themselves, man. Like, look, I understand you in the basement with your Batman underoos and your mom pay all the bills and you got something to say.
hey, what's up, everybody? This is Von the Stampede. The interview got cut off because my Zoom timer ran out, but luckily I used OBS to finish up the interview. So back to our regular schedule broadcasting.
I want them in the shot. I want people to see what's going on here.
No problem.
Come here, y'all. I want y'all. All right. Come here. All right. These are my sons. All right. This is Vaughn the Stampede. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Hi.
Yeah. 14, 10, living successfully with autism, both of them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to say to the world, you're gonna hate on somebody. Why hate on a single black father raising two autistic sons successfully by himself? Y'all put all this hate speech up telling me, oh, you should kill yourself and, F your kids. I hope your kids burn in hell and stuff like that. And it's wrong. It's wrong. Some of y'all think social media is real life and it's not. And this was coming from mostly African American people, which is disgusting. It's beyond disgusting. As you can see, I'm a man of confidence. I'm not going to commit suicide. I'm here for me and mine, and I'm continue to do that. So if you're waiting for me to fall off or to not be me, just keep waiting, because it's never gonna happen. Thank you, Vaughn the Stampede, again for giving me a chance to tell my side. New music, pmdawn, What I'm Here For, and Nothing's Been the Same, the remix. And also got Undisputed Doc G music out, All That Matters, and The Greatest Combination. Please go check those out. And if you're a fan, if you've ever been a fan of PM Dawn, please keep being a fan of PM Dawn. I'm not trying to hurt the brand. I'm trying to go forward. There were things me and my cousin were trying to do. I got like 20 tracks that he made for me before he passed away, and I haven't even unleashed them on the world yet. It's like I got a lot to do. I got stuff in the basement. If you ever saw the last Rocky Balboa movie, I got stuff in the basement. I'm gonna always have stuff in the basement. I'm gonna have the mic in my hand until I die. So I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna stop being proud of myself or PM Dawn moving forward. And yes, for those who asked online, in 2022, PM Dawn does mean prime motivators demolishing all warriors now, because that's what I'm doing.
Awesome, 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 man. Thank you so much, Doc G, for having this interview, telling your side of the story. Since we didn't get your side of the story, you got a lovely family, got two handsome men up there, two kings up there, future kings.
Thank you, B.
Thank you. You're welcome, man. I appreciate